Cancel culture thrives on. It's like a nightmare. It keeps getting worse and worse and worse. What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard. It is Bubba's Bottom Line back in Chicago, and wow, I was like I was in another country when I come back to find out that Disney has canceled Dumbo and put him in the White House, and Peter Pan, Pepe Le Pew, Speedy Gonzales are gone. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what was wrong with those cartoons or characters, but apparently we are going to spend the next whatever amount of time erasing all of the history that has been built in this country. And of course, I'm sure it'll come out that Walt Disney was one of the worst human beings ever as well. I mean, this is, but interestingly enough, as we eliminate cartoons and we eliminate the things that many of us grew up with, we don't talk about what's going on with Cuomo. It's amazing if Cuomo was, Trump, it would be nonstop 24 hours a day news. I mean, in fact, although he's no longer the president, he is always in the news. Okay, so it is an interesting. Where is the outrage from Kamala Harris, the wonderful vice president that we have? That's probably actually the president, because the current person in the office, I don't think, knows where he's at half the time. So where is the outrage? Now, where is the View and all the other TV shows expressing the outrage of what Cuomo has done with the sexual abuse and the destruction and probably all the money he had taken through COVID-19 with the nursing homes and all those things? So where is everybody? I guess these are like the NBA players. We hear crickets. Okay, it's the things that are important to them. I forgot. It's not what's important to America or to the United States. It's as much as destroying our freedom. It's now crickets because, of course, it's their party this time, and of course, it benefits them to be quiet. Interestingly, it is like the NBA, like everything else, it's about money. It is about nothing else. It's about how much they can grab onto and how much they can continue to screw the taxpayer. We can start with that stupid ass stimulus bill, okay, that does not bail out anybody. And who you who think that the stimulus is such a great package, okay, are paying for it. Okay, so why don't you just write a check and let's get it over with? Okay, you will be paying more and more taxes. It has been such a wonderful first, I don't know how many ever days it is, but since the day that the new president took office, the price of oil has doubled. Okay, the price at the pump is getting ridiculous again, but God forbid anybody would mention the word inflation that we don't have in this country. Okay, so as we destroy Americans and free speech, okay, because that is now out the window. You have no outlet to speak your mind if you're not in the line with the views of who's in office now, with the cancel culture, with destroying everything that is ever built. Because, of course, why should we not eliminate history so that we can repeat it again, okay, and make the same mistakes once again? I mean, why not open the borders? Why shouldn't we finance everybody else? We're so flush with capital. We have trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars we can keep printing. Okay, let's make sure we get total destruction of the United States of America. Okay, let's make sure we allow the communist countries like China, who's been dying to take over. Okay, let's let them be in charge. Okay, let's see what happens to the rest of the world when you have a communist government in charge that will not help anybody else. Okay, but listen, our destruction of what we've learned, what we know, okay, is all being taken away. Okay, in the like a magician, in the sleight of hand, they're disappearing your rights, your freedoms, soon your money. Okay, so you'll have nothing. Okay, but hey, listen, we got a wonderful thing going on here now, because we got the big ogre out of office. Okay, the guy who was actually fighting for the people, not against the people. Okay, it's a wonderful thing we got going on here. I mean, you don't think that your tax bills are going higher? Do you really believe that this administration is going to stop with people who make over $400,000 in raising taxes? If you do, you're a fool. Okay, if you can't see what is going on throughout this whole situation, where you've got a Federal Reserve, okay, that is printing ungodly amounts of money, okay, that believe that free money creates growth and jobs, which obviously we know it doesn't. It's already been proven time and time and time again. Okay, but hey, let's continue the destruction of the country that we love. Okay, and what was and still is, but gaining ground quickly on the crap. Okay, we're still the best place to be, but it's getting a lot worse each and every day. Okay, we are narrowing the gap with every other country of communism and socialism, because, of course, you got to cancel everything. You can't. Nothing can exist from the past, because the new administration, the new government, the squad, and everybody else involved, they want to bring us into a better land. Okay, so we can live like they do in Pelosi's district, where there's the most amount of homeless in the world. Okay, in one spot. Okay, where the rest of the billionaires in San Francisco are living it up. Okay, or let's make it more like Chicago, where we can lead in murders. Okay, yes, let's by all means take away the guns. By all means, let's continue our destruction, because certainly Cuomo has shown you the lead way. Okay, I mean, nobody talked about Biden's sexual harassments. Okay, that was totally swept underneath the rug. Okay, nobody's now talking about Cuomo and one after another. Now, when we had the Supreme Court hearings for the right side, boy, did we hear about the abuse. Where are all those people at the moment? Okay, oh, they're gone. And they're gone along with Peter Pan, and along with Pepe Le Pew, and along with Speedy Gonzalez, and along with Bugs Bunny. And who else is going to be next? Okay, maybe it'll be you. Maybe it'll be me. Okay, maybe we'll all be just brought into a soldier army. Okay, where we can all be exactly the same. Okay, where there'll be no more desire to create. Okay, well, there'll be no desire to get to the next level in your life. Let's just destroy the ability and the need for hope, where you start with a little business and you build it, and it becomes a conglomerate from nowhere. Let's make sure that we get rid of all the memory of the Steve Jobs of the world, and the Jeff Bezos and the Elon Musks of the world, okay? The greatest geniuses of our time, and then the ones of the well before, because we don't need to have all this. We don't need no stinking money. The government needs our money, okay? As they continue to fleece us and take our cash away from us through taxing everything. And the sad part of it all is there are so many things that can be done to avoid this, no matter who's in office. Okay, but of course, why would we want to take the easy route when we can just take the hard route and destroy everybody? It is something that we continue to watch, and again, we all know one thing about history: those who fail to learn from it are doomed to repeat it. And you can bet your ass that this is going to be a much bigger problem, and I'm sure I'll be long and dead by then because I'm already old. But I feel sorry for future generations for the destruction that is being done now with stuff that is totally unneeded. But let's make sure that we bail out. Now, let's see, who are we bailing out? Oh, wait, New York, Illinois, and California. Oh, okay. Those are the right places to bail out. They're naturally on the left side of the aisle. And of course, listen, I mean, California's budget, let's make it 90% for illegal immigration. Let's not have those people go through normal channels to get into this country. Okay. Well, let them walk in with their T-shirts. Free us by them. But yet, and nobody's talking about the damage being done to those children, okay, that are locked up in cages like monkeys and animals, okay? It's amazing that nobody talks about it, okay? It's all silent. We have the media, the crickets, saying nothing. So, again, we can continue on this path of destruction where we will lose the total control, okay? Or we can do something about it. And I'm just saying to you, hey, think about it. You look at it. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're a Republican, or if you're a Democrat, okay, or if you're a Libertarian. The one thing we can all see, I think, with great evidence, is the destruction of Americans' freedom. I don't know about you. I can't tolerate it, and I will fight with every ounce of my body to get the message out and do things to try to resume and get back the freedom that we lose on a daily basis because of the cancel culture. The nightmare keeps getting worse and worse and worse. This is Bubba's Bottom Line, Todd Bubba Horowitz. It is Sunday, March the 14th. And of course, I'm just back from Vegas. We're going to stop out here for a break, and we'll be back with more in our market update right after the break. Well, kids, here we are. And of course, the weather is starting to get nicer. And, we want to tell you about a couple of our partners, and one being Family Farms, as we continue to try to help our farming friends to better handle their money, their crops, their budgets, and use protection and the proper protection so that they can not be in jeopardy when the markets go back down again, and so that they're always protected, and not only protecting the crops and the livestock, but then learning how to protect their equity portfolios as well. And of course, we have a great relationship with Family Farms and are looking forward to traveling around and getting on the road with them. But in the meantime, of course, we have two great brokerage partners. I always mentioned to you, I do have other brokers. But I'm giving you who I prefer myself and who I use myself. And the first would be for commodities and futures, the CTG Group. They do a phenomenal job at taking care of our executions. They are the only authorized letter of direction provider for us. And they have some great managed futures product. And including they make all my trades for me. So that would tell you the amount of faith and trust I have in the CTG Group. And of course, for equities and options is Tradier. It's so easy to just say $10 a month. And, that would save whoever is not using them. And again, you use who you want. We're not telling you who to use. But I'm just saying that you look at it, and at $10 a month, I assure you're paying more, and you could be putting that money right in your own bank account. So don't let anybody ever tell you that the cost of trading is part of the cost of doing business. It's the cost of liquidity you're giving up. In the meantime, Tradier is $10 a month. And of course, we've got their API, so we're now automating things that for those who want, it is not a requirement. It is something you have the choice of. And they have great customer service as well. And, our commodity report written by Andy Heck, it's a phenomenal report. And last week we did do a webinar. If you'd like to hear more about it, just email me at bubba@bubbatrading.com. I'll be happy to send you a copy. And our high school program at Patreon, patreon.com/Bubba Trading. That is patreon.com/Bubba Trading. Now let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line with me, Todd Bubba Horowitz, in our little market update. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line, Todd Bubba Horowitz. And of course, our market segment is brought to you by the CTG Group, of course. And why? Well, because A, they got great customer service. B, because they're our only preferred letter of direction broker for our futures and commodities report. They have some great managed futures products, and they do execute all my trades. That is where I do my brokerage. I do have others, but I prefer CTG Group. So last week we looked, and a week ago, it looked like the markets were ending. It looked like the bull market was finally over, and suddenly the markets turned around. After Monday, they turned, and of course, Monday night on our call, we had mentioned that we were looking for a certain pattern to decide on what the markets were going to do from there. And as we go back and look at it, so we've gone from we were long everything to being short everything, and now we are long the Dow, the S&P, and the Russell, and short the Qs or the NASDAQ still. Okay. And of course, if you look at the charts, you will notice that the NASDAQ is in that pattern that we talked about. If it continues to fail from the recent rally of, Thursday and, well, not Friday, but Wednesday, Thursday, it will have put in another higher low, which would suggest it is going much lower. Okay. But again, we don't predict. I can only look at the price action and use the algorithms to go along with it. But overall, right now we're long, with the exception of the NASDAQ. Okay, and it was a rough week. We did not have obviously the greatest of weeks, but that's going to happen. And again, that's why we don't get involved during the day during the action of the emotion. Metals slightly higher last week. We remained short, personally, gold and silver. And the algorithm is also short platinum, but we no longer trade platinum because it's not liquid enough for our members. So we don't trade it, but I will give you the signals. In the meantime, the metals had a slightly positive week, which is no surprise. You expect to see, in any case, if markets go straight up or straight down, you expect to see some reverse action because there's always the backing and filling of a chart anyways. But in the meantime, they are still in a downtrend, and we look for this to continue. And I would suspect that silver is going down through 25 and gold is going back down towards, the 1,700, 1,600 level. Okay. So we'll see from where we go. And of course, crude oil continues to go skyrocketing higher. Now, last week, I think it was slightly lower. I don't remember, to tell you the truth. I just looked at it too. It shows you how upset I am about what's going on. But in the meantime, obviously, it's continued to go higher. And we have been long almost since the election. So you can tell you what the algorithm thought of the whole situation as well. But again, it's going to go higher until it doesn't. Now, there is some interesting things happening in crude oil right now. You are starting to see a little backwardation, which means that the front month is the most expensive, which is not right. That's backwards. The later month should be more expensive, but we're seeing that this rally is a little bit fear-driven right now. Okay, and it could fail from here at some point. Any day now, it could be a pullback. But again, you would expect that no matter what, based on the way that it has gone up. The dollar, we are long, and the dollar looks pathetic at the moment. It's in a sweeping range. It's narrowing to make a much bigger move. But again, the trend is higher, so we are obviously long. Nat gas, we're short. The trend is lower, and we're continuing to watch it now go lower. I really hate being short at these really low levels, but we are going into a weaker part of the year anyway. So it's always, listen, I don't argue with these methods. I just use them, but I will always give you my real opinion of what as well. But my position will be exactly what you see on the sheets that I send out. And of course, copper, is had a down week, and we're a little short now. After a tremendous run higher. Now, again, I don't know that the rally is over, but we're certainly going to see, I would think, some selling pressure first now. You've had such a dramatic move higher. It just depends on what happens. But we are short at the moment. Bonds and notes, we're still short. They continue to get hammered, which is totally counter to what the Federal Reserve is doing, which does spell doom. Okay? It spells problems because the bond markets, the biggest markets in the world, can certainly create damage. And they can certainly fight the Fed. So we'll see what happens. It's a long way, but if you don't think we have inflation, my goodness gracious. And as we look at the grain markets, a little bit down across the board. We remain long all the grains, and I do believe they are going much higher. And again, none of them have violated, none of them have violated any major support. And I would expect to see these rallies continue. Meats, we are long hogs. We're switching to long feeder cattle tomorrow. Okay. And of course, it won't be long before we'll be long live cattle either with any kind of rally. So we should be long the agriculture across the board, which makes me very happy because I think we're at great levels. I think there's some great things happening. And you look at the softs, and I'll give you what we got. Cotton had a rough week, and we are short. OJ was kind of mixed. We're still short. Coffee has been a rough trade for us the last couple of times. We're short. And we were long, we're short. Yeah, it's been pretty choppy. Sugar was down a little bit, and we're short, and cocoa was pretty much flat, and we're long. So that's really where we stand in the softs. The cryptocurrencies, again, continue to be hot, and they're hot for a number of reasons. But one of the big reasons is it is the rebellion against central banking, because we all know what a crock central banking is to begin with. Okay, you can say whatever you want about how smart they are, and I'm sure they're extremely intelligent. But when you're using antiquated models to calculate things, which we'll talk about in our commentary, you cannot be right, and they are not right. The Fed is totally out of touch with reality, which we will talk about. But in the meantime, okay, so watch the cryptos, keep your mind right, keep your disciplines in place, and be patient. There's never a need or a hurry to rush into markets. They will come back to you. Okay, so we'll see how this indeed does play out over the next few weeks, and we will make a decision. I'm sure we will either race to or continue to race into new highs, and the Nasdaq will turn around, or the tops are now in and it'll fall. Now, based on our position, we're net long, so we'll assume they go higher for now. In the meantime, this is Bubba's Bottom Line, Todd Bubba Orb. We're going to step out here for a break, and we'll be back with our commentary right after the break. Well, everybody, as of course we mentioned, we had a great webinar last Saturday with our Technomental and Andy Hecht, and certainly if you haven't seen the recording yet, I urge you to do so. If you're in the commodity space at all, from all of them, he covers them at detail. The reports are phenomenal. I would check them out. Email me at bubba@bubbatrain.com. I'll send you the recording, but it is called Technomental. And you can get the entire package for $129 or the individual components for $29 a month, or you can get them annually as well. Check them out at bubbatrain.com. And of course, our brokerage partner, we talked about CTG as they were the sponsor of the last segment, but also Tradeer. And Tradeer is a great broker. Okay, they are $10 a month. We've got their APIs. We have the ability to automate. Up to you. Again, we don't make you go to any broker you don't want to go. You go where you want. It is your money. You trade where you want. We will recommend who we believe to be the best. Okay. And of course, our partnership with Family Farms. They are just terrific partners, great people with the same goals and aspirations as we have, which is to help our farmers do better. And of course, our high school program at Patreon, patreon.com/Bubba Trading. That is patreon.com/Bubba Trading. Let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line and my commentary. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. Todd Bubba Horse with you. And of course, every week I talk about something that's on my mind, and I get so much. I think I covered a lot in the opening, but I want to go back to this inflation, because it is such a crock, and it's so sickening to listen to Jerome Powell and all these other imbeciles, because to me, they're imbeciles. Now, they may be very smart. Listen, I can't take away their education, and I can't take away how smart they are from a reading a book standpoint. But when it comes to common sense, they're about as ignorant as can possibly be. And I think one of the biggest problems is the models that they use probably are from 1920. Okay, they have not accounted for anything that has changed in 100 years. Okay, think about it. Look at the way how fast markets correct. Bear markets turn into bull markets in months. Okay, so the world has speeded up, as has the inflation. And if you don't think that we don't have inflation now, and we're a service economy, so you cannot just take away energy is one of the factors, which is what they do. The inflation, the CPI, is based on numbers without food and without energy. Well, how the hell can you, if you're a service economy, which means you're doing a lot more driving, is not oil and gasoline a key component in your business? So the models that they use are totally antiquated. Of course, their willingness to continue to print money to mask the true inflation, because if you look at the price at the pump, you're paying twice as much as you were 4 months ago. Okay, that's inflation. Look at what you're paying for groceries. Oh, you might be paying the same price. Take a look at the portions. Check the weight next time when you buy a steak or you buy something. We need to get this country back in shape, and it doesn't mean by having the Federal Reserve continue to print money. Okay, we need people to go back to work, and enough of the bull nonsense of staying home because of the COVID-19. Okay, either go to work, but no more stimulus. Okay, there's things to do. Get a job. Get off the couch. It's sickening, along with the way they run the whole thing. So, again, if you're truly at risk, then you stay home and you have a legitimate reason. But there's too many that are just collecting these free stimulus checks that shouldn't be getting them, that we, the taxpayer, get to pay for. It's ridiculous. This is Bubba's Bottom Line, Todd Bubba Horwitz, and of course, it is March Madness, and I'm going mad, okay? And of course, we'll have Selection Sunday tonight, and some great games, some great upsets, Georgetown, but the tournament promises to be a lot of fun. And remember, if you are a fan, A, we'll have selections every day, but B, it usually starts Thursday, Friday. This tournament starts next Friday, Saturday. In the meantime, this is Bubba's Bottom Line. We'll see you tomorrow with Bubba's Daily Update. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks so much. As always, we'll see you next time. Bubba's Bottom Line.